Have you ever pondered about isolation? Does it evoke feelings of loneliness, or can it be a gateway to self-discovery? In the grand tapestry of life, the concept of isolation often weaves a thread of mystery and misunderstanding. At first glance, it's easy to view isolation through a lens darkened by negative connotations. It's seen as a state of being alone, cut off from the world, devoid of social interaction. Yet, hidden within its folds is a paradox that challenges this conventional perception. Isolation, when approached with the right mindset, can transform from a place of desolation into a sanctuary of self-discovery and self-improvement. It is not merely an empty room, but a blank canvas waiting to be graced with the colors of introspection and personal growth. Imagine the quietude of isolation as a stage where the play of your life unfolds. The actors, your thoughts, emotions, dreams, and aspirations. The script, your deepest unvoiced desires. The audience, just you. In this theater of solitude, you are both the performer and the spectator, free to explore the innermost realms of your being without the fear of judgment or criticism. Isolation can be a crucible, a place where the raw ore of our potential is smelted into the gold of self-improvement. It grants us the space and time to shed the layers of societal expectation and peer pressure, to really look at who we are and who we want to become. In the silence of isolation, we can hear the whispers of our own hearts, catch the echoes of our dreams, and trace the contours of our goals with unerring clarity. We can indulge in the luxury of introspection, delve into the depths of our own psyche, and emerge with a better understanding of ourselves. So let's challenge the stereotype that equates isolation with loneliness. Let's recognize it for what it truly is, a paradoxical tool that can lead to self-discovery and personal growth. Stay tuned as we delve deeper into the paradox of isolation. Consider this: isolation can be a catalyst for self-improvement. Intriguing, isn't it? Now, we're not talking about the kind of isolation that's forced upon us. No, we're discussing the choice to set aside time for oneself, to step away from the noise and chaos that often permeates our daily lives. Imagine a world where it's just you and your thoughts. Sounds scary? Maybe, but it's also incredibly empowering. It's in this quiet, this solitude, where we find the space to truly understand ourselves. It's a time for introspection, for self-reflection. It's a time to ask ourselves those tough questions. Who am I? What do I want? What makes me happy? These are the questions that often get lost in the hustle and bustle of our busy lives, but in isolation, we can hear them loud and clear, and it's only when we hear these questions that we can begin to answer them. You see, self-improvement is not a destination, it's a journey, and like any journey, it requires a clear path. Isolation provides that path. It eliminates distractions and allows for a clear line of sight to our goals. It's like turning down the volume on the world so we can turn up the volume on our inner voice. And what do we find when we listen to that inner voice? We find our passions, our desires, our dreams. We find the things that set our soul on fire. And once we've found them, we can begin to pursue them. We can begin to grow, to improve, to thrive. Isolation allows us the freedom to explore our own minds, to dive deep into our subconscious and unearth the treasures within. It's a time for self-discovery, for personal growth. It's a time to learn, to evolve, to become the best version of ourselves. So next time you find yourself alone, don't despair. Embrace the silence. Listen to your inner voice. You might be surprised at what you find. As we peel back the layers, we find that isolation indeed has its perks. Do you know the power of solitude? It can be a wellspring of creativity and innovation. Many of the world's most successful individuals have harnessed the power of solitude to their advantage. Let's take a journey through history. Isaac Newton, during a period of isolation due to the plague, formulated the laws of motion and universal gravitation. Albert Einstein, often alone in his thoughts, developed the theory of relativity. Even in the world of literature, we find J.K. Rowling, who penned the first Harry Potter book in solitude at a local cafe. These examples underscore the power of solitude as a catalyst for groundbreaking ideas and creations. Solitude is not a state of loneliness, but a state of introspection, a state where we are alone with our thoughts, free from the distractions of the world. It is in such moments of quiet reflection that we can tap into our deepest thoughts and ideas. It's like diving into an ocean of creativity, where each dive brings up pearls of innovative ideas. When we isolate ourselves from the external noise, we create a space for our minds to wander, to explore new territories, and to connect the dots in ways we might not have in the hustle and bustle of daily life. This mental freedom can stimulate creative thinking and innovation, as it allows us to see things from different perspectives, to challenge the status quo, and to come up with unique solutions to problems. But remember, solitude is a tool, not a lifestyle. We must learn to balance it with social interactions and collaborations. While solitude provides the space for individual creativity and innovation, collaboration brings diverse perspectives and experiences, enriching the final outcome. As we embrace solitude, we also embrace the power to create and innovate. It's a journey of self-discovery, where we uncover our hidden potentials and unleash our creative genius. So the next time you find yourself alone, don't see it as a time of loneliness, but as an opportunity to tap into the power of solitude. Solitude, it seems, is not just about being alone, it is about the power to create and innovate. Is isolation a friend or foe to productivity? You might be surprised. In today's hyper-connected world, we're often led to believe that constant interaction and collaboration is the key to productivity. But what if the secret to unlocking your productivity potential lies in isolation? It sounds counterintuitive, doesn't it? Yet there's a wealth of evidence pointing towards this intriguing possibility. Consider this. When you're isolated, you're free from external distractions. No impromptu meetings, no office chatter, no unexpected phone calls. Just you, your thoughts, and your tasks. This uninterrupted focus can significantly accelerate your workflow. It's like having your very own productivity superpower, activated by simply stepping away from the noise of the world. Now let's talk about solitude. Many great thinkers, writers, and innovators throughout history have sworn by the power of solitude. It's in these quiet moments that the mind is free to wander, to explore new ideas, and to problem solve without external influence. It's an opportunity to engage with your thoughts deeply, and in doing so, potentially discover innovative solutions and fresh perspectives. But don't just take it from the anecdotes of influential figures. Science backs this up too. A study from the University of Buffalo found that people who enjoy spending time alone are often more creative. Another study from Harvard Business School discovered that individuals who had time to reflect performed significantly better on tasks than those who didn't. Yet, it's important to note that while isolation can boost productivity, it's not a one-size-fits-all solution. Everyone has their own unique work style, and what works for one person may not work for another. But isn't it worth exploring if some well-managed isolation could help you achieve your productivity goals? So next time you're feeling overwhelmed by your to-do list, consider giving isolation a try. Set aside some quiet time, free from distractions, and allow your mind the space to focus. You might just find that isolation, contrary to popular belief, can be a powerful ally in your productivity journey. Isolation can be a productivity powerhouse. A surprising revelation, isn't it? Isolation and mental health, a complex relationship indeed. It's a topic that swirls with misconceptions and contradictions, but one that demands our attention nonetheless. On one hand, isolation can pose potential risks to our mental well-being, yet on the other, it can serve as a powerful tool for mental fortification when used appropriately. The potential risks are well documented. Prolonged isolation can lead to feelings of loneliness, anxiety, and depression. It can make us feel disconnected, misunderstood, and can sometimes even lead to a distorted perception of reality. These are serious issues that need to be acknowledged and addressed. But let's not paint isolation with a broad negative brush. When approached with mindfulness and intention, isolation can offer us a sanctuary for self-reflection and self-discovery. It can provide us with the space to confront our inner demons, to understand our thoughts and emotions, and to cultivate self-awareness. It's about taking a pause from the hustle and bustle of life to focus on the most important project we'll ever work on, ourselves. Isolation can help us rediscover forgotten passions or unearth new ones. It can help us recognize our strengths, acknowledge our weaknesses, and set a course for personal growth. In the silence and solitude, we can hear our own voice more clearly and find the courage to follow its guidance. However, it's crucial to remember that balance is key. Isolation should not become a permanent state, nor should it be used as an escape from reality. It's a tool, a resource to be utilized thoughtfully and responsibly. It's beneficial to regularly check in with ourselves, to ensure that our isolation is serving us, and not the other way around. The interplay between isolation and mental health is intricate and nuanced, but it's a dance we can learn to navigate. It's about understanding our needs, setting boundaries, and taking conscious steps towards mental well-being. Isolation, when balanced, can be a tool for mental fortification. It's a journey of self-discovery, self-improvement, and ultimately self-love. And that, dear friends, is a journey well worth embarking on. Isolation, like many things in life, requires balance. This is a truth we often overlook. It's easy to get caught up in the extremes, either losing ourselves in the crowd or in the silence. But the real magic happens when we find that sweet spot, that perfect blend of solitude and social interaction. Imagine life as a seesaw. On one end, you have isolation, and on the other, social interaction. If you spend all your time on one side, the seesaw won't move. It's stagnant, out of balance. But if you distribute your weight evenly, moving back and forth between solitude and socializing, the seesaw moves. It's dynamic, it's balanced, and that's precisely how life should be. Isolation allows us to connect with ourselves on a deeper level, to reflect and to grow. It's a chance to recharge, to let our minds wander, and to cultivate our inner world. But too much isolation and we risk becoming detached, disconnected from the world around us. We risk losing touch with reality, and with it, our sense of self. On the other hand, social interaction is equally important. It provides us with a sense of belonging, a feeling of being understood and accepted. It allows us to learn from others, to share experiences, and to build meaningful relationships. But too much social interaction, and we risk losing ourselves in the crowd, becoming a chameleon that changes colors to fit in. The key is balance. It's about understanding your needs and adjusting your isolation and social interaction accordingly. It's about recognizing when you need to retreat into your shell for introspection, and when you need to step out and engage with the world. It's about learning to be comfortable in your own company, while also appreciating the joy of shared experiences. So strive for balance. Strive for that dynamic seesaw that moves back and forth, creating a rhythm that resonates with your inner self. And remember, it's okay to be alone, but it's equally okay to seek company. After all, we are social creatures living in a world that thrives on connection. The art of isolation lies in the balance. Too little, we lose ourselves in the crowd. Too much, we lose ourselves in the silence. Scene script. Isolation, a paradoxical concept filled with potential benefits. Throughout this journey, we've explored the many facets of isolation, delving into its complex nature. It might seem counterintuitive, but isolation, when embraced consciously, can serve as a powerful tool for self-growth and mental well-being. We've discussed the impact of isolation on self-improvement. In the silence and solitude, we often find the space to reflect, to question, to grow. It's in these quiet moments that we come face to face with our inner selves, peeling back the layers of our personality and discovering who we truly are. This self-awareness is the foundation for meaningful change and personal development. Our exploration took us to the intersection of isolation and creativity. In the absence of external stimuli, our minds are free to wander, to dream, to create. It's in these moments of solitude that some of the greatest ideas are born, that we find the inspiration to innovate and create. We also looked at how isolation can boost productivity. Without the distractions of a buzzing environment, we can focus our energy on the task at hand, honing our skills, and accomplishing more in less time. It's an opportunity to delve into deep work, to immerse ourselves in our tasks and achieve a state of flow. On the topic of mental health, we discussed how periods of isolation can serve as a mental reset, giving us the chance to recharge our mental batteries, to process our emotions, and to cultivate mindfulness. It's about learning to be comfortable in our own company, to enjoy our own thoughts, and to appreciate the peace that comes with solitude. Remember, isolation is not about being alone. It's about being with yourself. It's about self-discovery and self-improvement. It's about finding a balance and harnessing the benefits of isolation, so the next time you find yourself alone, embrace it. Who knows what you might discover?